Hi, everyone. Welcome to your Powerhouse Mavericks training on this beautiful, beautiful, warm, hot, steamy day. At least it is here in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know where you are, but I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful day because I want you to be getting excited and to really gain confidence when it comes to asking for the sale. So we're going to get into all of that. And we're also going to have a question and answer section at the end of this conversation. So be sure, one, you're giving access to StreamYard so I can see your comments. Even just say hi if you would. But you can post your questions. And I will try to get them as we're talking. But if not, then I'll get them at the end. Okay. And at the same time, I really, really, really want to provide you as much support and help and tips and strategies for really gaining confidence and excitement over asking for the sale. So let me share a little story about how this came about, because I can be very improvisational when it comes to the topics that we talk about each week. I like to reach out and ask questions and listen, whether it's in client sessions, my daily mastermind sessions, or it's within the Powerhouse Mavericks group or across all the platforms. And I'd like to really understand what you're dealing with at any given point in time and turn that struggle or challenge or opportunity, or maybe it's just some decision making you need to make, and turn that into a topic for our weekly trainings. And if you're new to Powerhouse Mavericks, into our Facebook group, then know that we do these trainings every Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Now, there's an exception, and I'm so excited for it. There's an exception for next Thursday there's an exception for next week, as instead of it being Thursday at 1 o'clock. Actually, I have a big corporate client commitment all day Thursday. We are going to have a special bonus workshop on Wednesday, the 25th at 1 o'clock, the same time, right here in Powerhouse Mavericks. But though you have to register in order to get some of the pre-work and the during session work and the follow-up. But it's all going to be about mastering your emotions for ultimate happiness with tapping. So who's familiar with tapping? Give me a show of hands, leave some comments. I am so excited for this. And our very own member, Christine Hunt of Hunt for Hope Wellness, will be joining it, and she will be leading and facilitating this workshop. I'll be there to just ask questions and help along. But thumbs up. So it is going to be a very powerful session. She's going to be walking you through the basic principles of EFT tapping, and she'll explain what EFT is, unless you're familiar with it or you've heard the term tapping. Then she's actually going to walk you through a real-time tapping session. So, certainly bring your idea or your thought or your struggle or your pain, because she's going to walk you through a real-time tapping session. And then we're going to talk about, she's going to share some tips for you to be able to make it a daily practice of your own. However, you definitely need to register in the Eventbrite. So take a look in our Powerhouse Mavericks page. Actually, it's across all of our platforms for the registration link. Because that's the only way you're going to get the worksheet. You're going to get handouts from her. You're going to get, great follow-up. You're going to get some real one-on-one connection with Christine. So be sure that you are registered for the event. Okay. So that's going to be next Wednesday. So today, to give you an idea of how this subject came about, a few days ago, based on some conversations I've been having with clients, and like I said, my mastermind and other entrepreneurs like yourself over the past couple of weeks, I made a post in our group that basically asked, what scares you the most, public speaking or asking for the sale? Now, actually, this came up because I was having a conversation with a group of people about public speaking. And, that's even number one behind or in front of death. When people are asked, like, what scares you the most in life? Some, people will say public speaking even before they say death, dying. So we were having this conversation and I thought to myself, you know what? I know that public speaking is scary for people, but I also know that asking for the sale is. I wonder what other people, what their views are on it. So I made a post out on our Powerhouse Mavericks group, and many of you replied saying it was asking for the sale. Now, I was thrilled to see several of you say neither. You're not scared of public speaking and you're not scared of asking for the sale. And that is absolutely awesome. So kudos to you. And what I will need to do is leverage you to provide tips and advice and support to those others in the group. And feel free to do so. If you are, if you do love sales, feel free to put a post out there that gives them a tip, that, gives them some advice. I don't need to be the only one in the group, providing that. So feel free, if you are, that one that loves selling. Trust me when I say, many of the group members could benefit from your knowledge and your expertise, actually from your confidence and from your excitement. Okay. So when I saw that, I said, okay, we need to have this conversation. Now we've had this conversation over the last, several months, and you can go into our guide section within the page of Powerhouse Mavericks, and you can find past Thursday Powerhouse Maverick training sessions that talk about learning to love sales, how to get your clients to like, know, trust, and do with you, how to have a successful enrollment call. There's been a number of sessions that we've had that have touched on elements of this, but I thought I would put it together and I would look at kind of 3 aspects of what you could be doing to learn to love asking. Okay. So we're going to talk about the asking. We're going to talk about how you can structure an offer, and I call it stacking an offer, to where your offer basically gets to the point where it sells itself. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to talk about handling objections. And we're going to have a whole separate subject around handling objections, because that could be a whole separate subject, a whole session just on that. So, you're so welcome, Chris, for mentioning the workshop. Absolutely. It's going to be fabulous. But anyway, but we are going to talk about some things you could be doing in your conversations when it gets to the point of you asking, to where it takes care of itself. Okay. So we have a lot to cover. I do want to make sure that we get to your questions. So if you have them, specific questions that you have, make sure that you're posting them. Can't post comments to some destinations. Oh, okay. I got that. So make sure you're posting them, and we're going to have a separate Q&A before we end today's session. Okay. And as always, I'm going to work to get you at the top of the hour, to get you finished at the top of the hour. All right. So I completely get when people say that they don't like asking for the sale, or when they say they don't like selling. Now, 9.5 out of 10 people would look at me, and they have over my decades of being in business, and they would think that I was a natural salesperson. They think that I am unafraid, I am secure, I am confident, I am excited, and I have no problem asking for the sale or selling. And I would say up until 5 years ago, they were so wrong. They were so wrong. I really, I would like break out in hives. My mouth would go dry if I had to do any degree of selling. And this was both in corporate and when I went out on my own. And I've been on my own for 12 years. So 7 of the last 12 years, I was not a fan of selling at all. And when it came to getting into, that sales process, when it got to the point of asking, that's what I would do. I would get very, very, very nervous. And so I'll give you my reasons why. And I want you to be thinking about what is it about asking for the sale? And many of you shared your input. You shared, you don't feel worthy of asking. You don't feel like you deserve it. You just are, you're scared of rejection. Let me see. Oh, you don't think that you're going to be able to get the price that you're asking for. Are reasons that you've given openly and honestly. And I so appreciate it. And kudos to you for doing it, because the first step to healing, the first step to overcoming is to acknowledge it, let alone in a public forum, which is, in our Powerhouse Mavericks, safe, confidential, and, amongst ourselves, not outside of ourselves. So, I hope you always feel safe and supported when you want to, be vulnerable, when you want to open up. Okay. So those were some of the reasons some of you gave. And I have to tell you, they were every one of my reasons. Every one of my reasons. I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think what I did was valued or valuable. I hated rejection. And it's just a 2-letter word. No, but I hated rejection. And I just didn't believe in myself. Okay. So, I was right there with you. So I totally understand kind of the anxiety that you might get when all of a sudden you're in it and you're just like, blah, 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 blah. And you feel like you hang up the phone, or you end your video session and you're just like, oh my God, I totally, screwed that up. You know what? Maybe you did, but maybe you didn't. And there are things that you could be doing in order for you to overcome those things. Okay. And that's what I want to get in and talk about. So again, make sure you're posting your questions so I can get to any of them that you're specifically dealing with. But I'm going to walk through several things with you when it comes to this. I'm going to walk you through both the mindset piece of the worth, the belief, the value, the fear of rejection. Then I want to walk you through, I think I have 6 now, the 6 P's of asking for the sale. And then I want to walk you through 1 or 2 of the handling objections that will make it easier for you to get to the point where you really aren't even asking, because you've done all the work up front. And that's the key. Is nowadays it isn't a formal pitch, right? Because that's the P that used to be used. Is, you're going to make a pitch. And that word is a turnoff to many people. Is it a turnoff for you? Sometimes it's a turnoff for me. I get it when it comes to even an investor pitch. I do a lot of film and TV script pitches, and even a sales pitch. I get that word, but I also get why it sounds very car salesman type of, kind of slimy. So the word, nowadays is you're going to present. Okay. And nowadays it is more conversational. It is more relationship building. It is more, you're just looking to learn as much as you can about somebody and the pains and the joys that they're feeling and experiencing, their goals and their dreams, their aspirations, their challenges, and what I call bitches, their fears, insecurities, and negativities. So then you can simply say, is there something I can do to help you? Is there, is there a service or a support that I can provide you? So it becomes very as much as if we're sitting across the table from each other. And, maybe I came to you because I'm just like, I just am all in my head and I'm just dealing with an issue, and you're just going to offer me support. Okay. So I want to get into all of that as far as how the conversation has shifted over the years, especially over the last 1.5 years with everything going on in the world. People want to be connected. And that's why I talk about like, know, trust, and do. You always hear like, know, and trust, but I added do over the last year because our whole objective as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as CEOs of our business and our life is to connect and build relationships. And then if we connect and build relationships in such a way that we then have something to serve and to offer someone else, then, they're going to want to do with us. And it won't be, and it shouldn't be an uncomfortable, scary situation. It should just be like, hey, well, this is what I do. Can I help? That simple. Okay. All right. So let's first look at the mindset piece of it. Worth, belief, value, whether you're valuable, and rejection. Obviously, all of those come to, kind of your own self-image, your own self-view, your self-esteem, your self-belief, your self-love. But I would challenge people to also say, hey, Renee, how are you? You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I am honored to do this training and to reach out to all of you. I just want to see all you flourish and succeed in whatever it is that you're doing, because everybody's doing such amazing, amazing work. Okay. So where was I? So all of that really comes down to self-knowledge. Now, why do I say that? How well you know yourself. Because it's very similar to the acronym that I use a lot, FEAR, false evidence appearing real. You have all of these things in your head. You're telling yourself that you're not worthy, you're not good enough, that you're not valued or valuable. You can't be asking for the rate that you want. No one will buy from me. No one will want to pay me that much money. I don't want to be told no, because that's a personal attack on me. And yet, if you were really honest, if you kind of separated your ego from your heart and even your head, but not the ego part of it, your heart and your ego, your heart and your head part of it would look at evidence, right? False evidence appearing real. Evidence that would contradict all of those things that your ego is saying and feeling about you, about yourself, because your ego is just there to protect you. Your ego is there to keep you safe and keep you where you are because it's comfortable, it. And that's why you feel safe there. But yet your head, your true head and your heart, they want to take on bigger things. They want to serve more people. They want to give. And yes, they want to receive in kind, right? So I look at this, especially when I work with clients, and I have them get really practical, really logical, really black and white on a piece of paper. You might use a blue pen, but okay. And what I want you to do is I want you to be looking at proving to yourself in black and white in a logical way that you are valuable, that you are worthy, that you are deserving, that you do believe in yourself, that rejection isn't about you. It's about the other person, that you don't take that personally, because you already have evidence in your life of people who love you, people who have engaged you, people who have paid you, people who work with you, people who socialize with you, people who support, mentor, coach, and love you. You have all of this evidence, but it's really easy to feel safe over here in believing that, none of that exists. I talk about honoring your riches and shedding your bitches, and because honoring your riches, we don't do enough. We don't take time to really think about all the wonderful, beautiful, traits and qualities and experiences and encounters and skill and talent that we have, within ourselves. We can look at ourselves easily. It'll take 2 seconds to come up with a negative thing that we feel about ourselves, but we don't take time to really honor our riches. So what I want you to do, instead of focusing on, or anytime that feeling unworthy or undeserving or invaluable, or, that you're going to be rejected or turned away from, I want you to instead find proof in your world how those things aren't true, and make a note of all the riches that you bring to the table, all the riches that you bring to your customer, all the riches you'll bring to a community like our Powerhouse Mavericks, all the riches that you would bring to a stranger on the street, or your neighbor, or your mentor or coach, or your peer or colleague or mastermind, a group of people. I want you to instead focus on all of those things, because they will prove and lift you up over and above that those immediate, sudden, like nauseating tremors that you feel when you start thinking about rejection or it being invaluable or unworthy, undeserving, or not believing in yourself. Okay. Now, we can talk mindset for days. But I can't go without addressing what you already have raised up as far as what's getting in your way. For those of you who said worthiness or undeserving or invaluable or rejection, just make a note. And I've outlined this before, and it's not mine. I just adapted it and use it. Actually, David Bear of Launchpad, if you look up David Bear, I took one of his programs, and I love, and I actually keep it up on my wall behind me, but it's down right now. And I love the structure. It's really simple, and it's something that you can refer to all the time. So take a piece of paper, and I thought to map it out, but I didn't. But take a piece of paper and make 3 columns. So draw 2 lines down the middle of the paper. Left hand is going to be your limiting beliefs about money. So you put up top, I love money. I love asking for money. But on the left-hand side, you're going to have limiting beliefs about that. And then in the middle, you're going to make a new decision about it. And then on the right side, you're going to have evidence, proof that new belief is true. Now, I also talk about the fact that you can also have a column that shows proof that your limiting belief is false. So it ties back to fear, false evidence appearing real. So let's go with the 4, not to confuse things. But let's go with the limiting belief, and then a column to say what's the proof that limiting belief is not true. And then your third column would be new decision about that belief. So if you're saying I'm not worthy of asking for a sale, or I'm not worthy of asking a client to buy from me, your new decision is I serve in such a powerful, valuable way that I have no fear of asking, or that I'm worthy of asking. I'm deserving of asking. I'm deserving of receiving. I'm deserving of earning. Okay. And then your fourth column could be proof that new decision is already real. It's already real. You have clients. You have people that come to you and love what it is that you do. Now, do you get clients that love what it is that you do and they do say no? Maybe. And oftentimes, yeah. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't. So there's just very logical things to do there when it comes to that, which is going to touch on the 6 Ps that we're going to talk about. But let me just say, you have to look at, well, one, it's not about you. It's about them. It may not be the right time. It may not be the right method. It may not be the right answer to their problem. It may not be the right price point. You might be underpriced, overpriced, or not fit into where they are right now. You know what? But that's okay. That's not about you. That's not about whether or not your prices are too high or too low. It just means that they don't have the means right now. And you can sit there and you can raise them, you can lower them, you can take away all the price to begin, totally, and be like, oh, well, let me give you a complimentary session instead. But that's still not really solving their problem, which is it just might not be the right time. It might just not be the right time. So don't do yourself a disservice. Don't go reconfigure your world because it's all about them. It's not about you. Okay. So those are just some things I want you to be thinking about when it comes to the mindset piece of this, of asking for a sale. We are all in business. Would you agree with that? Hands up. We are business owners. We are CEOs, and business is about making money. And in order to make money, you can do a couple of things. You can hire somebody to help you make money, or you can learn to be excited and confident about asking for the sale. Because if you don't do either of those things and you're not making money, well, then you're just in a hobby. And if you're just in a hobby, I would suggest that you don't work your tail off as hard as you're working if it's just a hobby. So be okay with saying to yourself right now, all right, no, this is a business and I'm going to make it a business. And I am a business owner, an entrepreneur, a CEO. And yes, I don't like asking for a sale, but I can learn the skill and I can learn to be confident and excited about asking for the sale. Because you know what that means? You know what that means? That means I'm serving. That means I'm offering someone a solution to their problem. It means that I'm going to allow that person to feel better about themselves, to grow, to start their business, to have a piece of artwork, to be able to get rid of, a block or a struggle that they're dealing with that's getting in their way of living their full life. I'm going to be able to help them, shift their mindset and get clients. And I'm going to be able to help them, get out of physical pain, let alone mental pain. I'm going to be able to help them, lose weight, get fit, whatever business it is that you're in. That's what we want to be excited and confident about, is that by asking is simply serving someone and providing them the opportunity to take care of their desire, need, or want. People have desires, needs, and wants, and we are there to fill it. That's plain and simple. And if it's not you, it'll be somebody else. And it's okay. You might get somebody on a call. You might spend that whole hour talking with them, and you actually identify that, you know what, this isn't a good fit. This isn't a good fit. So you say, you know what, this may not be a good fit. Or maybe they say, okay, I can't really, I can't afford it. Okay. And you work through the objections, which we're going to talk about. You get through all of, as much as you can do. And you just are like, okay, I fully understand. You might even go as far as to say, because I do it often, can I recommend you to someone else? Because again, keep in mind, you're wanting to serve. You want to help them, solve their problem, meet their desire, need, or want. So don't ever even be afraid or insecure about even saying, I might not be a good fit for you. I might be out of your budget. I might not have the methods or the framework that you're looking for. Can I refer someone to you? And trust me when I say that person is going to wrap their arms around you, if not literally, and they're going to always follow you. And when there might be a time for them to come and work with you, they will, because they'll remember that. They'll remember how you served them, even if they said no to you, because it's not about you. It's about them. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? You can give me a heart. You can give me a thumbs up. You can give me a hands up. You can give me a comment, whatever the case might be. Okay. I want to move on to, is there any questions about mindset? Any questions about worth, belief, value, rejection? Rejection is a 2-letter word called no. That's all it is. But you know what? There's a 3-letter word out there that you're going to get. You might get a lot of no's, but you're eventually going to get a yes. Okay? So, got it. Thanks, Christine. So be okay with getting no's, because the more no's you get through, now, there might be, and you and I can actually work on it together. There might be things that you need to change up. Maybe you don't have, and we're going to get into this right now. You don't have your plan laid out in such a way. You don't have your enrollment call structure, questions, approach set up in such a way that you're being effective in your asking, and even long before you're asking. But those are mechanics. Those are how to, and those can be fixed. All right. So you getting a no, don't take it personally in any aspect, but you receiving a no is just simply, it's not my time, from the client or prospective client, or there's things I need to work on because I'm getting no's. And you're not going to find that out with the first no. You're not even going to really know that with the third no, but when you get to the 4th or 5th no, and be okay with that. You might be saying to yourself, okay, something's not working here. I'm either going after the wrong type of person, or I'm saying the wrong things, or I'm not getting down to the right problem that I can solve, or my solution or program or offer or stack is not structured right. Maybe my pricing is off, but I'm going to tell you that's probably the last of it. So, there's going to be some mechanics maybe that need to be changed, but nothing about no should be, oh, Bernadette, you suck. Nope. It should never be that. It just simply is, you know what? Not the right time. I might not be the right person. Am I going to take that personally? No. Did I used to take it personally? Yes. Because like I said, I dealt with these same fears, insecurities, doubts, and activities. Okay. You just will gain more and more confidence and excitement with the more no's you get. How about believing that? The more no's you get will give you more confidence and more excitement. Yep. Because the more no's you get and you keep going out and getting a no and keep going out and getting a no and then eventually getting that yes, you're going to have gained more knowledge, more skill, more talent, more expertise, more experience in doing what you need to do to get that yes. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Excuse me. Okay. I use this structure for a lot of things, but I added one to it because it's specifically around sales and this ask thing. And we've talked about it before too. We've talked about it with powerful communications a while back, and even in the enrollment call training that we did. So make a note. All right. The 6 P's of asking for the sale: plan, prepare, practice, present, propose, and process. Okay. Plan, prepare, practice, present, propose, and process. And what's different there is the propose piece. And we'll get to that in a minute. I find most clients and actually I'll take that back because it started with me. I found that the reason why I really did not like selling or did not like getting, around to having to ask is because I wasn't planned or prepared for it. I just didn't look at it in its totality and really work in all the different aspects to where it is a conversation, to where it is I'm just solving, trying to answer their questions, not solve their problems that they're coming for, not coaching. But even if they raise up concerns or challenges or objections, I just wasn't planned or prepared, and I didn't practice in order to really know how to handle and manage those and walk through those comfortably. Okay. And when you're not prepared, remember tests, or even if you do go into a client meeting or do a live or do a workshop and you're underprepared and it's a struggle, you feel like, it's going all over the place. That will hinder and that will cause anxiety when it comes to finally asking, because you're not really clear or confident about the fact that you've laid out all the information that they need in order to make a decision. So I love this structure and I use it quite a bit, as I mentioned, because it really has my clients looking at and working through each of these aspects, each of these P's in before they actually go out and do it. And being that one of them is around practicing, I do a lot of practice with my clients. Being that one of them's practicing, you can even practice with not only a peer or a colleague or a family member or a friend, but you can even practice with your initial prospective clients. Maybe it's someone who isn't really your perfect ideal target, and yet they want to call with you. And you might even kind of say to yourself, yeah, this isn't going to convert and turn into anything. So, but you don't say no, especially at the beginning. If you have any fear or any insecurity about asking, take as many opportunities to actually do it, because that's going to be what gains your confidence and excitement around it. Okay. So even if someone comes to you and they want to, have a strategy session, an enrollment call, whatever you call them, And yes, instead of doing the hour, maybe you do the half hour if you see that this isn't really someone that you feel is going to be a good fit. Still do it. And then structure that 30 minutes around you getting everything that you need to the point where you can also ask, and you can get practice around it. All right. But let me walk through each one of them. So plan. You want to plan out, what is it that you do? What is it that you say? What is it that you provide? What is it that you know is going to come up? That's like, especially around handling the objections. And then you want to plan out, okay, so how am I going to ask? What are the different ways that I can ask? If, someone wants to work with me. And there's a whole, slew of ways that you can. If you're depending upon the depth of your conversation, it might turn out to be just, do you have any questions in regards to what we've talked about? There's there's variations of how people want to do it. Some people are very direct, and they'll say, after they've had a very lengthy conversation, they've handled their objections, everything like that. And they'll plan out to say, all right, so I typically work with my clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 1 and 5. And I have availability, it just so happens, next week at these time slots. And this is all true. This isn't like you're mocking. But I have these time slots. Which time slot should I put you in? That's one way you could actually ask. So you're not necessarily, saying the words, oh, would you like to work with me? Or do you want to pay X amount of dollars? You're getting a sense that, yeah, they're in. And so you simply say, when would you like to get started? I have these dates available. Okay. And now other ways could be, that you say, may I share with you, the program that is kicking off. Like I have a program kicking off on September. Well, actually it's August 30th, to kind of get you guys really ramped up and generating and getting clients before the end of the year. So, I could say, can I share with you some information in regards to my 4-month Get Clients Accelerator that's starting on August 30th? That's one way you can ask. They'll, if they say yes, they're, interested in hearing, you're getting warmer, right? It should be getting easier and more comfortable for you because now you're going to walk through your program. May I share with you what the investment would look like and what options and what, what payment plans I have that you can work with. So is that uncomfortable? Is that awkward? Is that kind of like, in my face, in your face? Or is it more a natural progression, through your conversation with someone to where then basically the natural thing is positioning or presenting or even proposing your offer. Okay. Now, the one basic fundamental I want us all to understand, because I really didn't even get this. And this is what actually one of the things that helped me kind of turn my attitude toward this about 5 years ago. And that is when someone reaches out to get on a call with you, they know you're going to pitch them. And I'm going to use that word because I want it to kind of sting. They know that they're getting on a so-called sales call. They know it because we're all conditioned to it, right? Aren't you conditioned that when you participate in a workshop and they offer a free discovery call or free strategy call or free time with me, you know that at the end of that, they're going, if they feel that you're a good fit for them, they're going to present you their offer. So why are you all kind of worked up and in your head about when someone gets on a call with you, that then all of a sudden it's this like weird, strange, hard thing, scary thing? They know that you're going to ask them. So get, kind of understand that. Be okay with that because they're expecting it. They'd be shocked. And some may even be disappointed if you were to hang up the phone and never get to presenting or proposing your offer, because they'd be like, okay, wait. Am I not a fit for them? Do they think I don't have money? Like, what just happened? And I've probably only experienced that as the potential client. I actually, dealt with that about a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe before the pandemic, where I got on a call with someone and I was expecting that they were going to tell me about their program, and they don't. We hang up, we move on. And I actually reached out to them and I was like, I was expecting that you were going to discuss the proposal with me, or your offer, your program with me. And they were like, well, we had a feeling that you might have been, just kind of fishing, shopping. And guess what I said? Well, that's too bad that you thought that, because I actually was looking for a coach. Because remember, I've been looking for a coach for about a year and a half, 2 years. But that was my red flag to say, okay, I'm not going to go forward with them. So, that people are expecting that that's what you're going to be asking them for. So be okay with it. Okay. But plan it out. So that was the whole point of all that. Plan out what it is you're going to do. Okay. And then prepare. And what that really means is you want to, prepare the fact that, yes, this leads to this and this leads to this. And yes, I have all the questions I want to ask, and I have all the objections inserted proactively. And you're prepared. It might be a document that you're going to follow, an outline you're going to follow. Maybe it's a slide or two that you want to have. You want to be very prepared for when you get on to those calls. Okay. And then from the practice is just what it says. Find a friend, find a colleague, find a peer, find a family member, find somebody, 1 or 2, 3, 4, whatever, to practice with, and tell them. And trust me when I say my clients, will often tell me that I'm harder practicing with than, the potential clients they're getting on the phone with, because they want to practice. I'm going to be hard on them so they can get that practice. So it's just one little, service I provide my clients is I get them shaken up so they feel confident and excited. So you want to practice, and then you want to make you want to present. So that's basically, how you show up. Okay. Now, one big qualifying aspect, of the sales process, of even getting to the point where asking becomes natural, is they are looking for you to lead them. Okay. They are looking for the confidence and stability and security and protection and privacy and confidentiality. They're looking for, someone that will kind of hug and love on them. And so they want to be sure that you have a process. You are prepared. You have practiced. You've been there and done that. They don't want people that are fumbling and in their head and confused and unsure and wavering and doubting and insecure. Okay. And that's a lot of where the plan, prepare, and practice comes in, is gaining that confidence, because your clients and the work that every one of us do that is in this Powerhouse Mavericks community, our clients want to be protected. Okay. To feel safe, to feel like, we're going to lead them, that we have a framework, we have a methodology, we have a process, we have a reason for our madness. In my case, there's a reason for my madness. But they want to know that, because they're feeling, they're the ones that are feeling chaotic and anxious and stressed and overwhelmed and scared. And so they're looking for a safe space to come. So that's what you need to ensure you're providing them when they do come. Okay. It's really, I can't overemphasize this enough, because they're already, and it's why I'll be real honest with you. It's why some people, when I meet with them, when they ask to have a call with me, I kind of disqualify them if they haven't already disqualified me, because again, not everybody's personality also fits with each other. It's why I don't care how many coaches and consultants that do exactly what I do are in my community, that are in my network, that I know. And a lot of them will be like, why do you want to know me? Because I want to be sure that if I'm not a fit for somebody, I can refer and recommend somebody. Okay. Because when this person comes, they're looking for someone, they've already just determined in their head the type of person or the type of support that they need. And yet, if I'm not that person, I want to be able to refer them. So in this, presenting, it's really to ensure that they feel as if they've come home and they're in a safe, supportive place. Okay. And, especially in the work that we do. But in your presenting too, is where, and you can go back to the training we did on enrollment. It's also where, you need to have your enrollment process really laid out. All your questions, your opening, your questions. You want your objections, built into there. I want to move on to get to that. And then the ask and how you're going to ask it and how you're going to propose your offer, your solution, your process, your package, your timing, your schedule, whatever the case might be. And then you want to get into propose, which is then you make that ask. And again, it could come in many forms. It's not just, so would you like to work with me? I mean, some people do, but a lot of times it's not like that at all. It's more like, so what are your thoughts? What questions or concerns do you have about what it is that we've discussed? And, or it's, can I, present to you, can I, outline for you what we do within my 4-month Get Clients Accelerator? Can I lay that out for you? Rarely will anybody say, no, you can't. And if they do, well, guess what? There's your qualifying, flag. And you just move on, or you ask like, okay, is there some concern about that? And they might say, well, I wasn't expecting that's what this was. Oh, okay. Well, of course I wanted to make sure I gave you some tips and advice and support. Would you say I did that? Well, now I just want to see if there's an opportunity for me to be able to help you. Do you find that, what we've been talking about, that I can solve your problem? So even if they were to raise up that type of objection, there's something that you can say to work through that without getting all like, oh no, they don't want me, they don't like me, type of thing. Okay. And then process basically is kind of everything post. It's following up with them. It's maybe onboarding them. It's doing whatever you need to do to follow up with them and keep them in the fold, whether that is bringing them on as a client or it is that you have to follow up with them. Now, I will tell people too, and I'll do this real quick. You don't get off that call. They say, oh, well, I have to talk to my partner or spouse, or I need to look at the money, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. Okay, that's great. That's fine. I totally understand that. What's a good day and time in the next 5 days for us to follow up? Let's get something on the schedule now. And and I'll make sure that I reach out to you. And you don't get off that call until you get something on the schedule. You don't say, oh, okay, I'll follow up with you, and let them hang up the phone. Get something on the schedule of when, again, they want to feel taken care of, protected, supported. So lead them. That's what they want. They may not be saying it, but that's what they want. So, what day or time would be good for us to touch base, even if it's for a 15-minute phone call? And then you say, I'll follow up with you. Okay. All right. So those are the 6 Ps. And again, if you want more information on this, reach out to me. The last thing is handling objections. Now, handling objections, there's standard objections, right? There's, I don't have time. This isn't a good time for me. I don't have the money. I have to talk to my partner. I'm really unsure, of exactly whether or not this is going to take care of my problem, so forth and so on. So the number one thing that you could do to ease all of that is make a list intentionally in your planning, right? In your planning, you make a list intentionally of what are all the objections you've ever received when it comes to, asking for the sale. And then you want to build into your conversation before you even get to the proposing. You want to build into your conversation those objections. So for instance, time, you build into the conversation. I have clients that deal with very similar, challenges that you're dealing with. And they even at the time had said that they didn't have time. that they were just so slammed or overwhelmed that they just couldn't figure out how that they were going to work this in, work us, the two of us working together in. And so what we decided as a partnership, what we decided to do is X, Y, and Z. So you build it in to your conversation through, that hour or whatever time you're spending with them. Money, you ask questions, or you have a discussion around people investing in themselves, and how much is it worth to you to solve these problems, and how long have you been struggling with this, and what how, if you would have put a cost or a price to that amount of time and that amount of struggle and that amount of pain, what would that come to? Because I have clients that, when they looked at it, they thought that the investment in the work that we did was really high, but when they really looked at, the kind of the amount of time that they've been struggling with this, and had they not been struggling with this, and they've been able to do blah, 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 they would have saved 10 times that amount of money. You build all of those objections into your conversation to where by the time you get to you proposing or asking, they might still say, well, I can't afford that. And then you refer back to the conversation you just had, because you can also be asking them questions. How much have you invested in yourself over the last, couple of years? What do you see as a high, as a decent investment for you to make in yourself? Do you, invest in self-care? And if so, what has that experience been like? And how much money has that been in the past? And what benefit and return on investment did you receive from it? So there is absolutely tons of ways for you to be able to handle all of those objections. And so by the time you get to the ask, it's extremely comfortable. All right. Does that make sense? Okay. We are going to have a Q&A, and I am watching the time, but we are going to have a Q&A. So post your questions. But right now, I do want to mention to you, before we get into the Q&A, I do want to mention to you that I am kicking off a 4-month Get Clients Accelerator on August 30th. That's a Monday. And it is the Monday before Labor Day, at least here in the States. But at the same time, it kicks off the last 4 months of the year. And can you believe it? We're already in September. I already saw Halloween decorations, which is even scarier. But I looked at everything that we've been talking about. I looked at these comments and the interactions that I've had with not only you, but clients and prospective clients and colleagues. And I thought to myself, what is the number one thing I could be doing for the balance of the year in order to get as many of you as possible kind of loving, getting excited, confident about not only asking for the sale, but getting clients, doing everything that you need to do and putting all the pieces in place that you need in order for you to be able to get clients. And I thought to myself, well, I love when, there's kind of like not a purpose, but there's all like a milestone. I love when there's a milestone around a challenge that I might do for myself, or a goal that I have for myself or my clients. I just love when there's a significant milestone. And right now, I'll be honest with you, based on, a lot of conversations I've had with you and others across my multiple platforms and my client base, that is the fact that even though it's August, 19th, you're not where you wanted to be from a revenue goal perspective in your business. So let's change that, shall we? Let's change that. So I put together a 4-month Get Clients Accelerator that will be a combination of bi-monthly one-on-one coaching calls, as well as bi-monthly group coaching calls. So if you plan it right, you could have weekly coaching with me, whether that's one-on-one or in a group. Now, I would need to emphasize what makes me different, very different from other coaches. My groups are at a max of 10 people. I don't do the 20, 40, 60, 100 people. I do the 8 to 10 people. I do where I can actually give you one-on-one, even in a group environment. yet understand the power of a group environment because of the collaboration and the masterminding that we can do amongst each other. Because I'm also one that I don't have to be the coach all the time. You know, we can all be sharing and collaborating and helping each other. So my programs are always centered around, and this Get Clients Accelerator will be centered around one-on-one. So it is just you and I, and then small group coaching. And then it will be bi-monthly training sessions that are specific to the Get Clients Accelerator group. And I'll talk about really the subjects of Get Clients in a minute. And then it'll also be 911 calls. And these are really popular with my clients. And those are situations where you have an immediate need. You know, you have something that all of a sudden came up. It could be a business issue. It could be a personal. It could be a mindset. It could be something that, you know, you could have a question just based on something that you're about to roll out, and you just need, 15 minutes of support, an answer, tip, or advice. So I call them 911 calls. And then I will have a distinct Facebook group page just for this group. Now, if I get more than 8 to 10, then I'll break them into multiple groups. I won't go from 10 to 15. I mean, I don't do that. So I would then have multiple groups of 8 people, 10 people, whatever the number might come out at. Okay. The whole objective with Get Clients Accelerator is twofold. You know, I'm huge on foundation, on fundamentals, goals, time management or time blocking. Time blocking. I'm big on your goal, your measurements and your metrics and your tracking. So we're going to do all of that. But really, we're also going to focus on who's your ideal clients, what's your ideal market, what's your offer, where do your people hang out, and where are you messaging them? What is your messaging? And, how are you messaging? What's your marketing plan? How, what's your formal structure to your marketing in order to, be regularly and consistently connecting with individuals. Okay. And through all of and then obviously it's going to be, okay, so what does the sales process look like? Everything that we've talked about. I'm going to walk you, step by step through dealing with the mindset, looking at the 6 Ps, and really working through, okay, what does my plan look like? What does my preparation need to look like? What is, practice? I love practicing. So practice with each other. We're going to, then you're going to go out and you're going to present. You're going to have everything that you need to present. And then you're going to propose and process. And we're going to work through basically your end-to-end operation of your business when it comes to getting clients. Okay. To ensure that you are actually getting clients. I am very results oriented. And there's a number of you out there that can attest to this. I want to know your numbers, and I want to know what you're doing to get those numbers. So there's a lot of accountability also built into this coaching program. You would think I would have a slide to show you, and I did, and it's not here. It disappeared. I don't know where it went. So if you want the actual details of this, please reach out to me. But so you will get all the, you'll get a workbook, you'll get all the handouts, you'll get all the templates that I actually use, and then you can also use and tailor to yourself. You'll get whatever is needed for you to get clients, not even a client, but get clients. If you come up with, I want to earn $5,000 a month, I want to earn $10,000 a month, I want to earn $25,000 a month, we're going to put the plans and the things in place for you to do that. And then we're going to have the action plan that you're going to then be accountable to acting on. I'll be your support. So then you're doing the work in order for you to get there. Okay. So let me share with you a link. You can reach out to me to learn more about the program and to learn about the investment. I can share with you right now, 4 months for $49.97. And I do have a payment plan where you can make 3 payments. And I don't know that number off the top of my head. I apologize. But it's either a one-time payment of $49.97 with a 20% discount on that $49.97, or 3 payments that you would do for the first 3 months of the 4-month period. Okay. Now, at the same time, I like to make sure that you have all the information and we can onboard you even in our initial powerhouse session. So if you have any questions, if you want to, pull the trigger and invest in yourself and say, yes, I want to make these last 4 months of this month or this year to be the biggest bang that I've ever had in my business and for myself, because we deal mindset and business, then definitely schedule an appointment with me, tiny.cc/powerhouse session. And I am only offering this special pricing until the end of next week. So basically the end of Friday of next week. So I will share more information and the link out in our Powerhouse Mavericks over the next week and a half. But trust me when I say this price will go away and this structure actually will go away. And it'll be very different on September 1st. So if you're looking to really kind of kick off the last 4 months of the year in a very powerful way with a great support system in place, I would be honored and love to help you get to whatever goals that you have for yourself and your business. Okay. All right. We are a couple of minutes over, but anyone have any questions for us that I can be addressing as far as what we've talked about thus far? Any questions regarding mindset? Any questions regarding the 6 Ps? Which I will post the 6 Ps in the comment section of this video. Okay. So if you didn't get a chance to make a note of the 6 Ps, I'll make sure that those are posted. And then we talked about the handling objections. I have no time. I have to talk to my partner or spouse. It's too much money. I don't have the budget. I'm not sure that this is a good fit for me. And then you come up with whatever objections that you have, handling them proactively to where by the time you're asking, they're already taken care of. All right. Okay. So if not, then I will say adieu, but let me remind you, Get Clients Accelerator, 4 months of just kick-ass support to get you to your goals and objectives for the last 4 months of the year. Reach out to me, tiny.cc/powerhouse session. Let's talk. Let's get you on board. Let's make September, October, November, December powerful powerhouse months for you in your business and life. Okay. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.